I was 10 years old when this happened. One evening, I was home alone, playing PS5 in my room upstairs. My parents had a strict rule that I wasn't allowed to answer the door when they weren't home. Usually, if I was alone, it wasn't for very long, just when my mom went out to get groceries or run a quick errand. That night, I was deep into my favorite game on my console when the house phone rang from downstairs. Mom had always told me to pick up the phone if it rang, just in case it was her. So I ran downstairs and answered on the fourth ring. The caller ID showed it was my mom's cell phone, and the voice on the other end asked, "Hey, can you come outside and help with the groceries?" I paused for a second, feeling that something was off. It sounded like my mom, but not quite right. I asked, "Why do you sound different?" She replied, "Like what, honey?" That word, honey, was strange for her, so I hung up, feeling nervous. Then the phone rang again, with my mom's number on the ID. I ignored it, feeling my heart pound. A few minutes later, it rang a third time, but this time the caller ID showed a different number. I picked up, and a man's voice said, "Hey Alex, it's your dad." "I'm outside." I was shocked, managing only to say, "What?" Before he continued, "I have something important to explain." I immediately hung up because my dad had passed away when I was very young. Whoever was calling definitely wasn't him. The phone rang over and over, but I didn't answer. Then came the worst part. I heard a knock on the front door. Now I knew it was more than just strange calls. Someone was actually outside. Mom would have used her key, so I knew it wasn't her. I peeked around the wall and saw the door moving slightly, as if someone was trying to open it. I ran to the phone and called 911, speaking quietly to the operator. She told me to find a room with a lock and stay there until the police arrived. I hid in the first-floor bathroom with the lights off. As I waited, I heard someone pulling at the windows, trying to open them one by one. I realized there was more than one person outside. If any window had been unlocked, this story might have ended differently. Finally, after what felt like forever, the 911 operator told me the police had arrived. When I saw the officers at the door, I finally hung up. They checked the house and asked about my mom's whereabouts. I said she'd probably gone to the store and that I didn't know of anyone who'd want to harm us. When my mom returned with my younger brother, she was terrified to see police cars out front. Her phone had been stolen, and whoever had taken it somehow knew enough to pretend to be her. We guessed they had figured out my name from some personal info saved on her phone. My mom's phone wallpaper was a photo of her, me, and my brother, and it might have given away that we were just kids at home. After that night, my mom was a lot more cautious about leaving me alone, especially in the evenings. That was one terrifying experience I'll never forget.